News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Trump trial today was crazy, to say the least, and wrong. The jury was so prejudiced today. You cannot prejudice a jury. And what does that mean? I'm no lawyer, but what it means is you cannot have witnesses or evidence or things that are entered into the case, entered into the testimony in front of the jury that will prejudice them against the defendant, but yet have nothing to do with the trial, nothing to do with the alleged crime. And that's exactly what the prosecutors did today. Today they had Stormy Daniels, the aging porn star, come out and give testimony, most of which had nothing to do with the case. She went into graphic detail about the president and silk pajamas, about the president and Old Spice deodorant, about the president and sitting on a bed and saying something about "you're naughty, I should spank you," or one of the something, either she said it or he said it. Stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with a non-disclosure agreement and getting paid $130,000 and any cover-up or any campaign contributions. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case. And yet, the judge, the defense attorneys for Trump, told the judge beforehand, this is something we do not want in here. This will prejudice the jury. He let it go. He let it happen. And then afterwards, he said, boy, that was pretty rough. We shouldn't have let that happen. But we can always take it off, tell the jury to ignore it. No. How can you possibly ignore somebody giving details of the president of the United States, the former president of the United States, and possibly the next president, and hopefully the next president of the United States of America in 6-7 months? How can you take that out of their mind? You cannot. And that's what it was designed to do. Like a homicide bomber. It was designed to strap itself on and then blow itself up and take down the case. Even if it destroys the case, it's not relevant. Let's hurt Trump. Let's let this get out there and let's prejudice the jury, because now they're going to see how horrible he is and they'll be like, we have to find this man guilty. But wait a minute, one juror may say that he didn't commit any of these crimes, but the man is a dirtbag. Oh, Stormy Daniels also said today that he basically raped her. I don't know if you caught that too. She brought up consent and that she really didn't consent and stuff like that. So in a lot of this she was asked about and talked about directly in the previous years, and she denied it. And so today she goes and encounters what she's been saying in previous interviews and alleging that Trump raped her, in addition to lurid details that had nothing to do with the case. Rape is not being alleged as one of the things that Trump's on trial for, nor is the salacious details, nor they have nothing to do with the case. So this to me, number one, it prejudiced the jury, which is totally wrong. It should be a mistrial. And number two, by the way, the judge came out and admonished the defense today and blamed the defense for this. And Jonathan Turley, a constitutional expert who's testified in front of Congress many times as an expert witness. Jonathan Turley is a George Washington University Law School professor. Jonathan Turley testified today, or talked about this today on Fox News, The Five, and he said this is like the basically what happened was the defense said, Judge, don't do this. It's going to prejudice the jury. He did it, and then afterwards, he what you want to say as the defense attorney then is to say, Judge, we told you this was going to happen. But you can't, because then you'll peeve off the judge, and there'll be some consequences in the case with the judge that you don't want to have happen. This is so beyond rigged and embarrassing and pathetic that it's sickening, and it's unbelievable to watch. And it tells me that there is no case, and that all this is they're taking everything they can to hurt Trump, keep him off the campaign trail, make him look bad, and hopefully get him convicted of a felony. And one of the things I was hearing today was Joe Biden, even though this is going to get appealed, the appeal won't happen until after the election. So Joe Biden wants to be able to say, because that's why he did all this. This is his doing, this trial in New York, is he's a convicted felon. My opponent's a convicted felon. Even though it's all fraud. That's what he needs. That's what he wants. Here's some questions for you. Do you think this trial is only happening so they can hurt Trump's reputation and push people away from voting for him? Not about getting a guilty verdict, but about hurting his reputation and pushing people away from voting for him. And do you think the Democrats know there will not be a conviction, but will damage Trump's reputation and keep him off the campaign trail? And lastly, do you think Trump will actually get more sympathy if he's sent to jail for violating the gag orders? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. Do you think Trump, this is all happening just to hurt his reputation and push people away from him, estrange them from him, turn him off? And do you think the Dems know there will be no conviction, but it'll damage him and keep him off the campaign trail? And lastly, more sympathy if he goes to jail or less? 800, for violating the gag order. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Now, let's hear the media mock him today and ruthlessly with joy. This is really insane, and all this comes together to me, and I go, God, please put this guy in office so that all of this can just slap him upside the head in the face this November. Here we go.
My basic feeling is like, wow, this is a colorful, maybe hyper-colorful witness. Daniels says she told Trump of the magazine, someone should spank you with that. I'm sorry, Anthony.
He was wearing silk or satin pajamas.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is serious. No, I'm sorry. I just had to laugh. I
can't believe I have to read this on television. It's not going to involve any descriptions.
Better you than me, Jim.
It's not going to involve any descriptions of anything in particular. So
just read it.
So they're just enjoying themselves. They're having a laugh fest over this, and I guess this is it. They're just regaling and enjoying their plan. And this is just unbelievable to see our government, our system, our justice system, our nation turn into a third world nation. It's just shocking and really sad. So let me play some more for you, too. This is more of these media people just loving this, having fun with it.
This is not a mugshot. This is jail. And Donald Trump is terrified. You've got to believe just by his issues with odors and smells.
The idea that Donald Trump actually would want to go to jail is ridiculous. He doesn't even like to stay in a hotel.
I think to make a point, to prove a point, put him in the clink. Oh, why not? Put him in the clink over there.
I don't want this to sound like I'm doing wishful thinking.
Yes.
But which prison would be best? I'm going to give you, Michael. Well, that's what I asked. Number one, I'm okay if he goes to Alcatraz and they reopen it. What about Guantanamo Bay?
So they're having a lot of fun with this. My only hope is that this comes back and just slaps him in the face this November. And I hope the American people see this and know what it is. It's all one big rigged joke to help get Biden elected in office. And you know what I wonder? There's something else. I wonder, is this the big strategy and the big plan for this year and this fall to stop Trump from getting elected? The FBI is rigging it. There's more stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit about the FBI and the case where all the documents were with the top secret documents in Mar-a-Lago. That one has just blown up today. To me, this could be their plan, period. This is how they're going to rig the election, through what we're seeing right now going on. And my other hope is there's not going to be some other thing they're going to bring in a month or two or three, another bogus thing. These people are wicked. They are wicked. And my hope is that the average people out there in America see this for what it is and support Trump in spite of it. All right, coming up next, what will happen if Trump actually goes to jail? I've got some very interesting information on that. What will happen if Donald Trump goes to jail? And is it possibly in his best interest to allow that to happen? All that's coming up next on the Chris Kroc Show. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. What happens if Trump goes to jail? Well, he could theoretically face months in jail if Juan Merchan, the leftist rig judge, issues consecutive sentences. He'll likely be moved to Rikers Island. There is, which is unbelievable and horrifying for a president to do that, have that happen to. There is no jail at the Manhattan courthouse. However, there's holding cells there that are typically used for short term for people from in transit to Rikers. I wouldn't be surprised if they do this, that they have him in that temporary holding one and protect it and hold it because it's a government building. But I don't know, and I wonder what you think. Do you actually think Trump will get more sympathy if he's sent to jail for violating the gag order? This is just, I mean, this is unbelievable to watch. This shouldn't be happening. We all know this. Do you think this trial actually, now that Stormy Daniels gave inappropriate, unnecessary, prejudicial statements about intimate details about sex and sexual relations with Trump and stuff that had nothing to do with the case and trial, and the judge allowed it even though he knew it was prejudicial? Do you think this trial is only happening so that it can hurt Trump's reputation and push people away from voting for him, not to get a guilty verdict? And do you think the Dems know there will not be a conviction but will damage Trump's reputation just to keep him off the campaign trail, I should say? And do you think he'll get more sympathy if he goes to jail or less for the gag order violations? Tony in Cancun. Is that Cancun, Mexico? Hold on. Oh my gosh. Tony in Cancun, Mexico. You should be sleeping on the beach and having a Corona or something. What are you doing, my friend? I'll take your call, but what are you doing, sir?
I just got through having dinner, and I'm looking out here at the beautiful beach and watching the waves crash against the shore and listening to WBAP on my Alexa dot that I brought down here.
I think that's a good idea. And by the way, I have been to the same resort twice, a nice 4-star right on the beach there. It's gorgeous. All what do you call what's it called? All inclusive. All inclusive. Yeah.
All inclusive.
Oh yeah. We love it there.
It's the only way to go. It's the only way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think if they try throwing him in jail, I think it's only going to strengthen his base. It's only going to bring more support. They can't stop him. He's the Terminator. And if they try to throw him in jail, he's got Secret Service protection. They'll wind up having to close down the whole wing of the jail, and he'll have the whole jail to himself.
Do you think
it's not going to stop him?
Do you think so? You think it would help him, not hurt him, if he goes to jail, because people will feel bad for him and see how stupid this is?
Well, it would definitely not hurt him. I think it will show that the government is against everybody, and they're not playing fair. They're doing everything they can to keep him off the campaign trail and to keep him from beating Biden, which he's not even trying, and he's beating him like a bongo.
Yes, that's actually very accurate. Now, do you think they're actually doing this whole trial, though, just so they can destroy his reputation, knowing that, and keep him off the campaign trail, knowing that indeed they're not going to get a conviction? Do you think they were like, it doesn't matter, just go nuts, dump everything at him, keep him off the campaign trail, and make him look bad? Even if we lose, just go make him look as bad as you can. Get away with the murder.
They're doing everything they can to besmirch Trump, and it's not working. That's the thing. They don't understand. They don't understand Trump's base. That they can't deter.
Well, the base doesn't matter. Remember this. The base doesn't matter. The base won't get him elected. It didn't do it last time, and it won't do it this time. The base is like 46% or something of that nature. He needs an extra 6% roughly. I don't know the exact amount, but the base will not get him elected. They know they're never going to touch the base. What they're trying to do is touch the independents and moderate Democrats, particularly the independents, and that's what they're trying to do. Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense, but I think whatever they do, whatever they bring against him, it's only going to strengthen his case. That it's him against the government, and he is trying to step between the government and keep them from attacking the people. I
think it also shows that if we do something the government doesn't like, they can destroy us, even if we did nothing wrong. If they want to destroy us, they can, right? Now, do you think they even knew they would never get a guilty verdict on this?
There's no way they're going to get a guilty verdict on it.
Do you think they knew that, though, before they decided to do this case? Do you think they knew they would not get a guilty verdict?
I think they did. I think they were just trying to, tarnish his reputation, but all it's doing is making his reputation even that much stronger.
So far, so good, but if they do get a felony conviction, it's going to be a bad mark on them, and Joe Biden's going to run with it. It doesn't matter what the truth is. That's my only fear. So that's why it's like, this is, I appreciate your call, and enjoy your vacation. Wonderful to hear from you, and stay in touch. Hey,
Thanks very much, Chris.
Use the workout machines. Use them up every day.
I will.
All right, that's what I do. Yeah,
I spend every morning walking the beach. I
love it. I love it, dude. Enjoy. I love Cancun. Take care, my brother. Okay, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Suburban women, a brand new poll on Trump in suburban women, and he literally is now tied with Joe Biden. This is where Joe Biden is king and how he wins elections is suburban women, and Trump has now tied him in a brand new CBS News exit poll. I should say, hold on, this is a brand new poll from, as reported on Breitbart. It's ABC News. ABC News Ipsos poll in May. Wow. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, there's good effects in this trial, though. There's been good effects. My buddy Eric Erickson, who I've had on the show recently, this is a little while now, but great blogger and such. The result of this has been Trump has become more efficient and disciplined in campaigning. He doesn't have the time. He does his rallies on the weekends or during a weekday, and he gets in, does it shortly, doesn't go on and on for too long, and kicks butt and gets out. He also takes a side when he comes out, like he did this morning, I believe it was, or yesterday. He takes the sides of those who've been denied a graduation ceremony right now at these campuses. He ties it all to Joe Biden's donors. He did that today. I'll play that for you coming up next. It's absolutely beautiful. And he's tired after being in court, my friend writes. His rallies in Michigan and Wisconsin have not been long, rambling off-script affairs. In other words, he says this is forcing him to be disciplined and making him a better candidate. I think he's right, and I hope it holds. So there's some good stuff because of this. It's funny. It's forcing Trump to be briefer and more focused, and that can help him. And then he's not on Twitter. He's gag order, so he's not saying things sometimes that he says that he doesn't kick himself in the teeth. The Trump campaign. We're thinking about this. This is from Semaphore. The Trump campaign contemplates a jail sentence. Over the past couple of months, everybody on the team says they've been coming to the realization it's a possibility they'll go to jail, although about what must be done. Home confinement is possible. They've discussed that. It'll be jail or home confinement. The trial is election interference, they say, but it would be a great honor akin to Nelson Mandela's imprisonment. Nobody could spin it like Trump if it happens. Nobody. By the way, more Jew-hating, anti-Semitic, Hamas-supporting mobs are now encircling the Financial Institute of Technology, I believe it is, FIT, in Manhattan. So they've moved on another area, the terrorists that are funded by Joe Biden supporters. We found that out, too. Boy Scouts. You heard it in the news from Sean, our newsman on the program, at top of the hour. The Boy Scouts, based here at Irving, changing its name and more inclusive garbage. And I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk about the effect of what Boy Scouts did for you, your son, and other boys that you've seen. And if you think all these new changes are good or bad, I have such an opinion on this, as I have an Eagle Scout son I'm so proud of. From just 2-3 years ago, he eagled out. Actually, he's 21 now, so it'll be 3 years ago. I have a lot to say, and what do you think about that? We'll talk about that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. This is, of course, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3, making a preset. Chris Crock Show. Boy Scouts of America, I saw this story, and the headline is, Irving-based Boy Scouts of America changing its name to more inclusive Scouting America. And from Fox News, Boy Scouts of America making this big change to be more inclusive. To which I tweeted out, America is falling. That's all. I mean, I don't want to say that and not mean it, but I really, that's my reaction. America is falling. Why is it falling? Boy Scouts is one of the most incredible institutions of all time for boys. Boy Scouts has changed so many lives for the better. I just looked up, I was telling the Chris Crock Show viewers on my Facebook page, you can watch me at Facebook Live at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show on Facebook, ChrisKrock. Click on the public figure, click like, and you can see my lives every day. You'll be notified. from the studio here. And Camp Makajwan is where I went with my older brother. I'll never forget that. And the memories are precious that I will always have for the rest of my life. And that's like, that's almost up by the UP in Michigan. That's how far up that is from Chicago where we went. I was stunned when I just looked it up. It's still going. It changed my life forever, and the memories are forever, including catching a squirrel. I caught I set the trap with a little thing. You yank the pot comes down. I caught a little squirrel, got it in the bag. What do you do with it at that point? I don't remember, but I didn't hurt it. But the memories are incredible. And I mean, I treasure them with me forever. My son joined a scout troop here locally, and it's a very tough troop. It's very disciplined, and a good amount of people. It's more tough and more disciplined than any troop that probably. It's probably in the top 1%. I'm not making this up. When you go to the camps over the years with the kids, like I have, and you see all these other troops and how pathetic they are, not dressed up for when they're supposed to be dressed up in their uniforms, not organized and in line, not disrespecting things by talking and doing stupid things. They let them bring cell phones. They get their eagle at like 15 or 14 when it's not possible unless you've made it super, super easy. It's like a joke each time you sign off on stuff. But instead making it worse. My troop was so rigorous. Here's what they did. When you went up a rank, you had to go through the entire previous ranks. Like, so to qualify for your first class, you had to go through every single qualification that you had to learn, you have to know how to do this, how to do that, how to treat this kind of a case, what the first aid rules are, and this and that. So for each step, you have to know all these things, right? So you would have to explain if you want first class and you're going in front. Not only do you have to know everything for first class you'd have to answer. They wouldn't let you cheat or look at a book or anything. If you didn't know the answer, you are told to identify leaves. Identify 5 different leaves. Go. And then like wherever you are, you're on a campsite too. You're not, so you have to go and look and find 5 leaves, and you come back in 20 minutes, and you have to show them this is this, this is this. And if you don't do it, you literally don't pass. There's no room for error, and you have to do it again, and you have to wait another month till the next camp out. That's how it works. It is so disheartening for some kids that they leave and go to the easy troop, and then they eagle in like a year because it's a joke. That's how most of them are. I'm not knocking you. I'm telling you. That's how hardcore mine is. And I'm going to tell you this. For your first class, for your second class, you're probably sitting one-on-one with the scoutmaster for 2 hours at a camp out. 2 hours, maybe even more. For your first class, it's going to be like 2.5 because, again, you have to do – what is the very first thing to get scout rank? You have to memorize this, this, and this, okay? What's the next thing for I think it's the second class is next. I can't remember now. You have to memorize a whole bunch of things. And so it's cumulative. So when it comes time to your eagle, your test is like 5 hours long, and I'm not exaggerating. You'll see, 100 feet from where the campsite is. You'll see the dude sitting there, the scoutmaster with the kid, for hours, asking questions, going over things. And if they don't make it, fine. We'll see you in a month. They make exceptions when you're about to turn 18 and age out. Then he'll meet with you at his house, which is what happened with my son for 4 hours. It was intense, and he did it. And he had the chance to leave because of the intensity, and he chose not to because it's the best troop. Because I said, look, Mom and I said, look, this is very tough, and we had some things where we thought were wrong, but he chose to stay, and that kid was blessed so much from it. And it took a 13-year-old boy. He joined at 13. It took a 13-year-old boy who was having trouble connecting with people because of his ADHD, and these kids loved him. And they embraced him, and they knew his name, and they welcomed him. And I saw my young man at 13 till when he finished graduating to being a man. I saw a kid who, when it's not even, even when he finished and eagled out and he was done, he still came back and helped some of these kids for 2-3 hours he still will do it when he comes back from Japan with these kids with their eagle projects. Their service projects, because he loves these boys and they've loved him and the dads have loved him. When you have 2 different dads who have no stake in it showing up and digging and working hard in the sun to put this garden in, this butterfly garden in that took us. It took us 2 days, 9 hours, 10 hours on one day, and like 8 hours on the next day. The project's supposed to last 6 hours. It was like 17 hours. It beat the living heck out of my son. It put the burden of the whole project on him, and it came out ahead. It made him a man. And when I see pictures of him at 15 years old or 14 years old, and me and him camping because he had to get a night or two of camping and separate from scouts with me, and that picture comes up in my Facebook feed, I cry. And I cry because I will never have those memories again. You know what I mean? I'll never have that time again with him. He'll never be that age. And I will never have that kind of special time with him that we did. And he's becoming a man. He's engaged. He's in his last year and a half of college. He's in Japan for 4 months. He has gotten scholarship after scholarship after scholarship. He realized he became a man, and he became someone who had several relationships that he's so close with to this day because of Scouts. It made him into who he is today. A incredibly sweet, hardworking, loyal, and beyond honest, insanely honest. And let me tell you something. If the crap hits the fan, he's literally going to be telling me what to do if we're in some forest because everything's broken down and people are killing each other and the water and electricity are out. He will know what to do. That kid knows more than I've ever known or ever will know about wilderness survival and living in the wild and emergency preparation and first aid than I will ever know because of our troop. And to see that they've destroyed it, when you open up and you allow a toehold for these leftist, LGBTQ, leftist radicals to come in, when you give them a little toehold, they end up coming in, and you either submit 100% and they destroy the organization by forcing you to submit 100%, or you, after giving them the toehold, you fight and they destroy you that way too. But either way, they're going to destroy you. And that's what has happened to the Boy Scouts. And you know what else? And it angers me, and it saddens me, and it hurts me. But you know what else? The other thing is that they allowed them to come in, and they allowed them to do this, and it's destroyed them, and it's destroying them. And there's still a lot of good things you can do in it and stuff like that, but it's getting harder and harder and harder. They are, and they're saying, well, gay youth can come in. You could have been gay, and it was don't ask, don't tell. Who cares? What in God's name does being gay have to do with scouting? Nothing. You know how I know? I was a Boy Scout. You know how I know? My son's an Eagle Scout. It has nothing to do with it. And then gay parents or something be involved. We don't care. Nobody cares. Just keep it to yourself. What this is I want to shove a pride flag in your face and beat you to hell with it unless you do what we want. You will submit, you will bless me, and you will absolutely get down on your knees and you will kiss my fingers and my ring and say you're gay and I love you and I wish I were gay too. Instead of saying, let's grow together. Who cares about your sexuality? Who cares about this? Don't bring it up or make it an issue. And it's just like the Biden administration where, like, we want to see guys in high heels and skirts up on stage at the base doing drag shows for men who are designed and trained up to kill when necessary, to kill and to protect us and lay down their lives. This is all being destroyed. This is exactly what Russia wants, what Iran wants, and what China wants. This destroys us from within. This rips away our young men, our boys' testicles and their testosterone, and turns them into this garbage. And girls have no business being in Boy Scouts. They can be in Girl Scouts. This dilutes it and destroys it. And you will not be able to tell me anything. And I don't mean I got a girl. But it is not, and I love her. Has nothing. It's just the gay agenda has no business in there, and the girls have no business in there. And there's nothing to prove. There's nothing you're going to change. Shut up and get out of here. And you know what it is? The Boy Scouts covered up the sin of molestation, grooming, and rape, and that is what's led them to let this go happening to them. You should never have kept quiet and allowed that to happen. That is disgusting and wicked. Your wickedness and covering up for your wickedness, the people that were there that did all these horrible things to these young boys, your wickedness opened the door for this to happen. You have destroyed scouting. But most importantly, the scouts, instead of standing firm, the men did not stand firm and did not protect scouting. They ruined it. Whoever it is in charge of the Boy Scouts that's done all this stuff, you have destroyed scouting. You have destroyed everything that my son did and what I did. You've destroyed it and ruined it. Purge this crap and get it back because it's over. And what I mean by saying it's over is it's not over today or tomorrow, but it's going to be over. It's being destroyed. It's being imploded. And you know what else they do? The last thing, it's like a church. A church decides, do I want to be whatever the Bible says, or do I want to sell out and be what the world wants us to do? And it can do whatever it wants, okay? But what this is just like with the church that does this. Oh, we need to accommodate a generation that is turning into, hedonists or whatever, you know? And we're going to accommodate them so we can keep our membership up. We're losing members. That's the same thing the Scouts are doing. And I reject that, I rebuke that, and I rail at that. Because it's wrong. And the people that are going to suffer the most are the kids, are the boys. And those kids mean everything to me. They mean everything to me. My boy's one of them, and I was one of them. Now, my questions for you, and I've got details from the stories I'll share with you. My questions for you are, what did Boy Scouts do for you or your son or other boys? And do you think all these new changes are good or are they bad? They're changing the name to Scouting America, and they have all these girls in there, and there are tons of girls, and they're saying, if you want to be gay, great, bring your rainbow flag. If you're a parent, you want to be gay, great, bring your rainbow flag. None of us wants this crap, and none of us cares if you're gay, but it has no place in Scouting. These are boys. These are minor children. It's the same crap they're doing in our schools. Hey, cut off your you-know-what. Whatever. Take hormones. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, I'm done. I'm a little late because it was worth it. Stand by. Your call next, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Well. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is the number. That's 800-288-9227. Do we even recognize the Boy Scouts anymore? In some instances, maybe not. What did Boy Scouts do for you, your son, and other boys? And what do you think about all these new changes? Do you think they're good or they're bad? Girls letting them in, changing their name again, like for the second time or third time, and such. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. This from the Dallas Morning News, allowing gay youth to and welcoming girls throughout its ranks was an eye on increasing flagging membership numbers. I told you about that in the last segment. They're just selling out to try to get their numbers back up, which is not the way to do it. A lot of us are looking for a way to make men and boys changing who they are. Changing who they are. Membership peaked in 1972 at almost 5 million, and by the way, should never be changing for who they are, changing who they are, because who they are is exactly what makes our young boys into men. It's beautiful, is what it is. Girl Scouts USA sued. I love that. The Girl Scouts sued after marketplace confusion and damage to their recruiting efforts. Boy Scouts settled out of court or whatever, but they're like, we'll take the hit. We'll let the Girl Scouts sue us. We need to pillage any members that might go to them. We wouldn't want girls to be taught how to grow up to be strong women. We want to mix the two and dilute it all. The United States, they talk about youth council. They have a 20-person youth council from across the U.S. to help guide the program by raising issues important to them, like sustainability. Sustainability? What is that? Do they not know that's already in the Scouts? Leave no trace behind is the Scouts, and any good Scout is like that. So, famous Boy Scouts, Mike Rowe, Steven Spielberg, Neil Armstrong, and President Gerald Ford. Going back to 1909 London, where a Chicago publisher got lost in the fog, and a Boy Scout helped him get out of his destination. When the young boy refused the payment for the good deed, the Chicago publisher was inspired to bring the movement to the U.S. It was Sir Baden Powell, who created the Boy Scouts. And he's obviously turning over in his grave and sad, as we all are. Up next, the Trump documents case. This is unbelievable. The Trump documents case from the FBI, that whole case is now in jeopardy. I mean, it really, really, really is. It's unbelievable what's going on with that case. I'll share that with you next on the Chris Kroc Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all.